Hi, I'm Dr. Faisel Syed. Welcome to another episode of Faisel and Friends. We're here because we believe everyone deserves access to quality primary care, and ChenMed needs physicians to take care of them. Tonight's topic is physician leadership. My co-host and moderator of the chat is Dr. Dan McCarter. Welcome, Dr. Dan.
Hey, Faisal, it's great to be here with you.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. I'm looking forward to this discussion. It's just imperative that primary care physicians take leadership of healthcare, and I'm so excited with our guest this evening.
Yeah, it's a special guest and a special friend, dear friend. Tonight's topic is a special one. We all know that we must transition from our current fee-for-service system to a fully capitated one that's based on value and not on volume. And that transition must be physician-led. It certainly is at ChenMed. And here with us tonight, we've got our very special friend, Dr. Nehal Gheewala, joining us. Nehal, how are you?
Good, doing well. Happy to be back. Good to see both of you.
Your story is an awesome story, and I'd love to hear about where you grew up and how you got started on your journey.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's a long one, but I'm a Tampa, Florida native. I'm a Floridian, and I grew up actually in Largo, Florida. So very very humble beginnings out in Largo in Pinellas County. Growing up in a family, we've had other people who are physicians or were in healthcare, but my parents were not. I have an older brother who had some aspirations of going into healthcare, but we're 4 years apart. So we grew up together, but then after he had went to college, there's there's that time of your life, where you feel like, are you on your own? You're really looking at things through a completely different lens. It's just so different. I really relied on my parents, to be honest. They really guided me, helped me, kind of try to find what my interests were. But we came down to at the time, a time in like high school when they say, it's time to go volunteer, you got to get some hours in, everyone has to do their community service. And my dad said, well, why don't you go and work with seniors? Why don't you? And that was actually the first time I worked with seniors, was when I was in about like ninth grade. And at a local hospital, I didn't go and work in like ICU. I didn't go work on the medical floors. I worked in rehab, and I didn't work with doctors. I worked with occupational therapists. So the odd thing was that most people, when they go into medicine or they want to go into medicine, they go, oh, I'm gonna go work with the doctors. I'm gonna go work with the ICU doctor. I'm gonna go work with the surgeon. You actually learn the most in the roles about when you're learning about people. You learn the most when you have the most patient facing time. And the truth is, especially in a fee for service world, doctors just don't have much patient facing time, but occupational therapists sure do. They spend a lot of time with their patients. Um, it was a lot. I mean, I would literally sit with the patients. You talk with them. You're helping them, kind of helping them with their adaptations, depending on what they had in rehab. But I would spend time with them, getting water, playing games, talking to them about where they're from. So that was actually my first exposure to healthcare. Was in that setting, and then I worked with a community practice doctor after that. But I first learned how to work with people, and that led me down a road, where I started looking into these dual, programs where it combines undergrad and medical school. And I went to Nova Southeastern University in Fort Lauderdale. I was accepted, but I did that volunteer experience for 4 years, and that led me. That was the first step into getting into to medicine. Was really, go join a program and I take my interest and see if they flourish. And when I was undergrad, there was many times where I said, am I still grounded? Is this what I wanted to do? I was surrounded by other people who are in the program. They're like, I want to be a surgeon. That's how you save people's lives. I want to do a hip replacement or a knee replacement so that person can walk again. And these are like awesome, noble professions. I mean, we need them,
Sure.
surgeons do great for us, but things really started to change when I got into medical school. And actually in between, I did a little healthcare policy experience with Senator Mel Martinez at his DC office. And really worked on the Senate Special Aging. Sat in on the Senate Special Committee on Aging. So learning at that level what the conversations were about, Florida constituents, issues in Florida with seniors, about nursing care issues. And then I transitioned in through medical school. And then, when you get to that point where like, what do I want to do? I settled on primary care. It wasn't because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew who I wanted to work with. I've always loved working with seniors. And then that led to a career in internal medicine, and then a fellowship in geriatrics, and then coming to practice value-based care, where I think, things really matter. But along the way, this entire journey was and I've had so many mentors, so many great people, I from university to like undergrad and medical school. And then you look at residency leaders and fellowship leaders and all the physicians and nurses that I work with that really all mentored me to be who I am. Every step was a step in leadership. And even while I've been here with ChenMed, there have been multiple steps from when I started as a geriatrician to where I'm at now.
Wow. And you just finished 3 years with the company. You just finished your third year.
Yeah, 3 years with ChenMed. Yeah, so it's been time really flies by, right?
And how many jobs have you had?
This is not the fourth one. There's a fourth promotion since being with Chen.
Thank God it's with the same company. It'd be a problem if it was with different companies.
Yeah, I mean, this is, when you look at when physicians go, and I feel like leadership is in every physician's DNA. It just gets lost along the way because we do things with our blinders on. I want to fix that knee, and I'm just going to fix and fix, or I want to fix that blood pressure. I'm going to fix and fix and fix. But you're so fixated on that, but you're not looking at the system. You're not looking at the bigger issues, and you might not have time. And the passion's there, but it gets lost along the way. And, when you move into a company, this is everyone's dream. When you join a group, one day I would like to say, 5 years, 10 years from now, I'm doing XYZ right here in the same place. I just had more opportunity. But unfortunately, when doctors go places, their brilliance can get capped. Sometimes it's a circumstantial thing, things happen. And then sometimes it's just, it just doesn't happen. Maybe they don't have the leadership around them to help bring them up, because it takes a good leader to make leaders, right? You're not, it's in the DNA, but it needs to be fostered. Someone needs to take a chance on you, right? And they have to take a leap of faith so you can take a leap of faith. And I think that's where the biggest differences have happened to me in my life, and both of you as well. I mean, I don't think any of us would be doing what we're doing if we didn't take a leap of faith, but someone else didn't do that with us.
Yeah, there's so many times I kind of pinch myself thinking, really, is all this really happening? When I went to medical school, we're so focused on learning all the basics with the physiology, the pathophysiology, pharmacology, and you study, 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 study. And then you come out into the world, and suddenly the part of our minds, the social part of our minds, that we kind of suppressed to get to where we needed to get to. Suddenly, when you get out in the world, you got to reignite that. I had a conversation with my 13-year-old, my oldest son. He said, "Daddy, do you like watching sports?" And I thought, there was a time that I used to really enjoy doing that stuff. But this path, this journey happened, and now here I am at 42, getting back into things that I used to really enjoy 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's funny how things work out like that. You might have to revisit stuff, but I want to make sure we hit this point home, and I make sure I say it, is that to be a leader and to succeed does not come with a lot of failure. There's a lot of humbling in that process. There's a lot of failure in the process. You may try something, it may not work out. That has happened many times to me. It continues to happen. Things that you expect things to work out a certain way, they don't. But I think when you zoom out, what matters is that you're able to get back on the horse and keep riding. You're able to find another way to innovate. And when physicians are able to do this, they can really do great things. Anybody in healthcare, and when I say physicians, I mean, it could be nurse practitioners, physician's assistants, our nurses, they do awesome things, but you have to give them bandwidth too. And somebody, again, has to take that leap of faith with them. They have to want to do it. And then there has to be a will, right? And a skill, right? So it's tied with that. So someone has to go with you.